Hey guys, good morning, good morning. Man, started off as a bad morning. As the temperature's getting colder now, I think it was about 40 degrees last night. I started the truck up to make sure I warm it up before I shut down for the night because I was at the truck stop all day. Usually in the middle of the night, if I use the bathroom, I'll go ahead and crank it up, just make sure everything stays a little warmed up. Fuel filter doesn't freeze up, just in case you have water in the system. This morning, around 5 or so, when I got up to use the bathroom, she wouldn't start. I started stressing because I have an appointment that just got pushed back from last Friday, today, Tuesday, and the last thing we wanted to do is miss that appointment. Anyway, had to go ahead and buy a set of jumper cables. I didn't have good ones yet. So fortunately, the ones I bought at the truck stop that were about $60, had to knock on the truck next to me that he was up, and we got it started. But let me tell you, it's very stressful because those cables weren't the good ones. That were 8 gauge, and you really need to get zero gauge wires. They hold more power, and it's less time to warm up and recharge the battery. It was over half an hour, and I was almost ready to give up. And I'm not a quitter, but thank God we got it going. So my boss got some good news, but let him know that we got to get these batteries checked out, the terminals cleaned up. And me, as when I was owner operator and lease purchase and all that, is I don't like to cut corners. When it comes to batteries, they normally take 4 batteries. If one's bad, in my mind, you change them all. You'll have a couple spare if you need it, but you don't play around with batteries. Okay, guys, that, you may be in the most worst situation and you go to start that truck up and it doesn't start, and it's something you could have done to prevent, let you know. Like this morning, the batteries were talking to me. It said, hey, there's a problem here. We may be just low, may just be the terminals, maybe a battery's bad or something, but there is a problem. Houston, we have a problem. So you can choose to ignore it, and the situation is just a matter of time. Could be the next time it won't start up. So you got to be smart, and you can't be cheap. When it comes to batteries, that's not where you cut corners. Absolutely not. I don't tolerate that. I'll pay for the batteries myself, if I had to. There's too much of a headache. I like to park sometimes at rest areas or head first into some of the parking spots at the truck stop. Think about it. When you're parked head first, and you can't easily get another vehicle to jump you like that. So just not really too keen on cutting corners that way. So again, it is the winter, so guys, you're going to have to keep an eye on that and be careful, because we like to charge our phones overnight, and it's not one of the ways to will drain your battery quick. Leaving lights on, or if you got a refrigerator, what I did is in the summer, I like to eat fresh. It's more expensive that way, but I go and buy my food fresh every meal. So I decided to unplug the refrigerator. Number one, it was noisy. I didn't like it. It made the inside of the cab a little hotter, so the AC had to work a little more. And I try not to go to sleep with the truck running. I got a phobia of fumes and that kind of stuff happening. And you may go to sleep and you may not wake up. So I like to park in areas where I can possibly open the back windows that are screened, so you let a nice little brisk, cool air in. Can't do it all the time because the temperatures may not allow you to do that, but I find that I sleep better. I find that I sleep better that way when I do. I wonder what are some of the winter maintenance that you guys think might be cool. Maybe you guys can suggest it in the comments. Somebody might got a better idea, or bring something bring a point up maybe could help out another driver. So my thing is, when it starts to show sign of weak battery, gotta change it. When it comes to winter, I like to change my wipers. Sometimes I'd like to get the snow wipers if I know I'm gonna be traveling in a snow area, and this winter it looks like we're gonna have a bad one. So it's a good idea to change that. Always make sure you got stocked up with gallons of windshield washer fluid. What I do is, be honest with you, I try to save my boss money. I go over to Dollar Tree and I buy them by the case. They come, I believe, 4 in a case. They usually last me a few weeks, and we're good to go. Those small little things that you could do is, again, it's under preventive maintenance, could save you problems. Make sure you clean your windshields pretty good. I like to use Dawn dishwashing detergent. I'll put it on the squeegee, and on the sponge part of it, soak it up. Make sure you put enough water. If you put it on too thick, it may dry fast and it won't be good. And the reason I use the Dawn is there's a lot of grease and oil from people's exhaust on the road, whatever's dripping ahead, on underpasses and that kind of stuff. So I just think it's pretty smart to use the dish detergent, clean that grease off there. A lot of these drivers, they use that squeegee and they start washing their trucks with it. So believe it or not, diesel fuel finds its way to that. So if the squeegee is a little too dirty, I may skip it to the next opportunity, because you want to take grease and dirt off. You don't want to be adding diesel to your windshield and make it very smudgy and not clean enough so you can see through. Let's see, what other things I like to do is, like I said, my tip is in the middle of the night, I like to start up the truck. I'll start it before I go to sleep. And in the middle of the night, a couple times, again, keep that fuel from gelling up, because you keep moving it around. Let's see, what else is there? Oh, again, you want to be careful how you park. You want to park in a manner. I was so fortunate that I was parked at the truck stop, and there was a light pole next. So it was a non-truck parking spot. So because that stayed open, the truck that gave me a jump was able to pull in there and jump in. Again, getting back to the cables, you want to get the long ones, at least 20 feet. I think they make up to 25, 30, or even 50 feet. But if you can get the 20, good. If you can get 25 or 30, even better, just in case you have to get jumped on. You got to jump somebody on the opposite side of the truck. There's enough room to go either under it or over the catwalk in the back. Very, very smart. Another winter tip that I like to do is, especially if the temperatures are dropping and you're going through snow, sleet, or anything like that, moisture, what happens is when you're driving, your brakes are hot. So they can heat up and stop any ice from forming. But again, the flip side of that is when you stop driving, the temperature drops. So any moisture that was already accumulated and built up into, say, your brake drum area on your trailers or your drives, that water starts to freeze. And if you set your brakes are already full contact with the drum, and all that moisture is on the outside of the brake linings and drum, and they'll freeze up and make it solid to where you cannot release your brakes. Okay, the power is setting the brakes, and not so much power releasing the brakes. So that ice will keep the brakes set. So what I do is, at least on the trailer, if it's not a heavy load and it's on level ground, you should be okay to do this. But again, you want to check your brake adjustment on your truck, because if you do not set your trailer brake, your truck and trailer are relying on just the brakes of the truck. So anyway, by not setting them, keeping them released, the brake drums and brake shoes do not make contact. So there's a gap, and a less chance of it freezing your brakes up. Plus, if you have any type of air leak, you're constantly keeping air in the back if you're running your truck. So that's another good thing to do. This way your bags don't deflate back there and have problems. I had an airbag blow on me one time while I was parked running. We had an issue with the that particular trailer. So the guy I was working for, again, cutting corners, he told me to keep the truck running and not to set the brakes, because there was an issue back there with the height adjustment of the airbags and all that. All I know is, out of nowhere, the airbag on the trailer just blew up. I've never seen or heard that happen before while you're parked. So be real leery when you're sticking your heads back there. I mean, chances are a tire's not going to blow when you're parked unless you just finish driving and it's still super hot and it expanded, or the road's hot. And just a lot of different scenarios, man. I'm very leery about, like I said, sticking my head back here. I'm a driver. They didn't hire a mechanic, they hired a driver. I'll go around and I'll do my pre-trip inspection and stuff, but it's a limitation to that. On the bill of sale, my name ain't on it. I don't own the equipment, and so if there's a problem there, I'll try to spot it, and then we address to fix it. So that's my thing. Anyway, thank God I'm not missing my second appointment here at this receiver. I'm at a receiver that it's a solar farm, so we're bringing solar panels over here, and it's a union job site, so it's a pain in the ass, man. They gave me a big problem. Just thinking about it, that's why this morning with this battery issue, I was like, oh man, what else can go wrong? Murphy's Law. But it's a beautiful spot here. It's a beautiful morning. Again, last night was down in the 40s. Right now it's actually 47 degrees, and we're about 8 something in the morning already. So it is what it is. So if you like the channel or you got some comments, please like, subscribe. I welcome you to add some comments, and we'll try to address it, because it's a community of truck drivers. We're out here to help each other, and you may have something, a point or experience to bring up to help somebody else, and that's what it's all about. Nobody's better than anybody. I don't care if you're doing this 20, 30, or 40 years. Just because you're doing something safe for 40 years doesn't mean you're doing it right. You could have been doing the same thing over and over for 40 years, but doing it the wrong way. So doing something for 40 years doesn't necessarily mean you were doing it the right way. Now, hopefully during your 40 years, you learn from your mistakes and mistakes of other drivers, and then you bring that to the table. And that's how we learn, You bring something, I bring something. We brainstorm, and we come up with solutions. Anyway, I want you guys to have a blessed day today. Donald Trump is our president, so there's a lot of positive things to look forward to. The path is not smooth. There's going to be bumps, turns, and ditches. So just got to do your best to avoid them, okay? God bless you. Be safe, brothers, and please have a DOT-free day. Ciao.